You're about to hear an incredible story of Christine Knox, who's a remedial massage therapist. She also does remedial hot stones as well as facial and scar work all throughout Australia and the UK. She's going to share her business journey from being a complete tech phobe right through to being able to create her own online program, empowering therapists to use the same skills and techniques that she does every day in her treatment room, all while hiring her staff. Really excited to be able to share her journey over the next half an hour or so, where you get to learn about what she's put in place, what she's learned to think about herself, the exact steps that she's taken to be able to get there. And I want you to really listen in, because there's three things that she talks about. She talks about how she worked on her mindset, she's changed her marketing, and she's worked in the mechanics in the business to be able to get her staff up and running really efficiently. Now, these is what we call the three amazing M's. And the three amazing M's is what every massage therapist needs to be able to run their business successfully. So I'm really keen for you to be able to listen right to the end so you can hear exactly what she does and how she's literally changed her life over the last 2 years.
Just taking the first step, and once you take the first step, be all in. Honestly, this thing doesn't work if you don't. You just have to, even when it's tough and you don't want to, just honestly, it's worth it at the end to, really suck it up sometimes. Yeah, it's tough. Get over it. Get on with it. Honestly, just, yeah, I was seeing 20 people a week, but I was working 5 days a week.
Yep. Okay. And now, how many clients would you have coming through the door? Because do you still take the 2 days a week off?
Yeah, I try.
So you're really working
They're
3 days a week.
Days.
So 3 days a week, hands-on, and 2 days a week on the business doing that other stuff.
Yeah.
And plus you've got 2 team members. How many clients are you seeing across the week now?
It does vary from week to week. We're looking round about the 35, on a good week 40. So I was looking for someone who could provide that community support, knowledge. I remember almost barely being able to send an email. A dinosaur phone. Facebook. I communicated with my friends in the UK, but I never used it to do anything.
Good morning, Christine. How are you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you, Alicia.
That's awesome. It's fantastic to be able to chat with you today. Would you like to maybe talk to us a little bit about, introduce yourself, a little bit about who you are, who you help, a little bit about your business at the moment to help introduce you to the people that are listening?
Okay, my name's Christine Knox. I run CK Massage in Armidale, New South Wales. I'm originally from Scotland, so I don't sound very Australian. We help people out of pain in a way that feels luxurious and really good. We particularly help people with scar tissue and do a lot of myofascial work, hot stones, blending, lots of techniques together to get really great results. Became a massage therapist basically because I had moved country from Australia to Scotland and I needed a job. And I had young children, so I had 3 children, aged 5 and under. So I moved country with a 9-week-old baby. Well, actually, she was 7 weeks old. And I just was like, I actually need a job. I need to work. And my younger sister was a massage therapist then. And she said, you can come and work for me. I'm really busy. I need someone. And I went, okay, so how do I do that? And she said, we'll get you trained and everything. So I said to her, choose a massage school for me, knowing what you know.
How did you get into the scar tissue work and the hot stones that you do?
Okay, so the hot stones was first. Even before I'd actually qualified, my teacher at the massage school brought the whole class to an evening workshop with a really great training company in the UK and basically forced us to do this evening workshop. And basically where we got to try out hot stones, like getting hot stones and giving hot stones, and I just loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the way they felt. I loved the heat. I loved when they chinked together and make a wee noise. Like, I loved that there was water involved. Like everything, like absolutely everything about it, I just loved.
Yeah.
So I then basically went and studied that with that particular training company, and about 4 different other training companies, just to see what everyone's got to offer. And so I started incorporating that into all of my massage treatments.
Yep.
So every single person that comes for a massage was getting hot stones with their remedial massage. So I just found it saved my body and saved me time, because I'm not a very big person. I'm not very muscly or big stature. And I worked at a gym. So I worked at one of the rooms I had, one of the clinics. I worked underneath the weights room.
Wow.
So I had all these massive guys coming down saying, I need this done, need that done. And they'd look at me and go, really? And I go, hop on the table. You'll be right.
We'll get it.
Bring out my stones. And they were just like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. So you've done a bunch of qualifications over in the UK. You come out to Australia. You were working in a fairly remote part of Australia. It's not. I mean, is it Australia's highest town, city? Is that right?
City.
Highest city. Yes,
City.
not town, city. Let's talk about the business side of things. So we first had a conversation a couple of years ago. Like we said, you had all this experience, all this knowledge as far as the hands-on skills go. Talk us through what made you want to reach out and have a conversation around business coaching.
Yeah. Basically, moving to a different country, business itself is kind of the same, but there's different rules and regulations and laws, and, and I was a bit lost, and I didn't have my business mentors here. So I was looking for someone who could provide that community support, knowledge. I wasn't doing so well technology wise. I'd had websites before, very like template ones, things like that, and I made one here, but it wasn't very targeted, sophisticated. It kind of was very generic. So I didn't market at all.
Yep.
Zero of that.
Yep.
I marketed the same way as I had in Scotland, which was very much, oh, hey, my friend has a sore shoulder. Oh, great. I'll take out my diary and book them in. Was basically the way I was kind of conducting that. So I was missing out on this massive opportunity to actually gather more clients. I was busy, but I wasn't as busy as I am now.
Yep. Okay. So the knowledge gap was around how to do it here in Australia.
Yeah.
And making sure you're doing the right things in the right time.
Yeah. Compliance. I was worried about, that type of thing. And I wanted to bring in staff and things. I saw myself getting bigger so that I could do other things. But I was just unsure how to do all of that.
Yeah. And was technology something that you'd struggled with in the past?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I remember like almost barely being able to send an email. A dinosaur phone. Facebook. I communicated with my friends in the UK, but I never used it to do anything else. And I was quite resistant to actually bringing technology into my life in a bigger way.
Yeah. which is really, really common. It's a really common strategy that a lot of people run. So what were some of the first things that you started to put in place as a kind of like, like now you are a very technologically savvy woman. You go all over the world utilizing technology, and it's not a thing. It's no longer that thing in your life. What was the first step? What was that, I'm just going to stand at the threshold and have a look at this great big wide world that scares the bejesus out of me right now?
Even just the really simple thing of changing my profile picture from, not being a picture of me to being a picture of me kind of meant, okay, here I am, technology. Here's my face on this. So like in my mind, it was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of here. Also things like I actually just upgraded all my tech. I just went, you know what? Out with the old, just go to the shop, get the guy to teach me how to set this up, get the new phone, the new laptop, everything else. And because I'd invested in this new equipment, I couldn't just let it sit there and do nothing.
Okay, so you started by putting yourself out there, because as the joke we have is that it's not called Logo Book, it's called Facebook, because people want to see your face. You put yourself out there, and that is an internal shift to going, I'm literally out there now, my face is out there. That's cool. And that is how people build trust and learn to get to know who you are and your skill set. So you've been able to help more people by starting to put yourself out there. So what have been some of the big things that you've put into your business now since we've been working together? Because you were just a one-woman show, and you've changed that now, and now you're doing a bunch of other stuff. So what are the actual things that we've put in place in the business?
So big things that happened were I got one employee, and then I got a second employee. So these were big. I hired a second room in the premises that I'm in. I put online booking.
Go you with your tech.
Redid my whole website, added a shop to my website. And then I made an online training program and have that on my website. I now, I filmed everything, edited everything, wrote everything, put it on the website myself. And now people are buying that, which is awesome, and have a great success with that at the moment, which is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. These are big things.
This is massive. So let's kind of unpack this a little bit, because you kind of skipped over a bunch of steps. So we've hired 2 therapists in a regional town, which was not easy, to be perfectly honest. It wasn't like, I put the ad out and I get people. It's taken time, and it's been a great challenge. And you've got a couple of team members, and there have been challenges with those team members as well. And you've ridden the wave of leadership, because how much of having team members means you have to trust people, which was something that it was a stretch at the start. You've got to figure out what the legal process is, and hire them, be compliant, give them a safe work environment, replicate the stuff that you're doing for your clients, so that your clients are happy to see those team members, which, when you're so highly skilled in an area, is very challenging, which you're again navigating quite well most of the time. And then you've also, while doing all that, created a premium online program where you're actually teaching people how to replicate your hot stones.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Oh, and I've hired a support team as well. So I have an HR person and a bookkeeper.
So let's talk through, you have been to every retreat we've run in the last 2 years, which has been amazing. So I think we're up to 7 or 8 retreats that we've run in that time. Do you want to, in the early days, do you want to talk us through some of your experiences that you had when you first came to retreat? After you'd started to put yourself out there, get used to the technology side of things, what were some of your first experiences when you started coming along to retreats?
So retreats were, at the beginning, incredibly challenging for me. I was untrustworthy of every single person in the room. Which is like, what? I think where I live, the massage scene can be a little hostile. So I expected the massage therapist to be like that. They weren't. And that threw me. And now I just know that they're just awesome people, and everyone's on the same page, and everybody helps each other. Like, they actually help each other, and you can have conversations around lots of different things and connect that way. Pivotal were actually the retreats with the fun days, because then we got to get to know everybody that much better, and going out for dinner with people and having conversation about, you know, who they are and, you know, their lives and everything like that was really amazing. Also, the knowledge you get is it gets really bedded in at retreat. So if you don't quite get to the nub of understanding something, you can go away that night and read over things or discuss it with, you know, a couple of massage buddies, and then if you still are like, it's just not quite doing it for me, I can come and speak to James or yourself, and it's always welcomed. You're never made to feel like a fool.
Regardless of the question.
I don't understand.
So instead of just a one-woman show trying to figure out this whole, you know, I'll just write stuff in my diary, we've now got online bookings, we've got a bookkeeper, we're using electronic bookkeeping software, we've got somebody facilitating that. So the growth in the business has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Plus, you've been able to get yourself out there in terms of you're now marketing your Remedial Hot Stones to a completely cold audience. And it's not there in Armidale because it's an online program, so it's done all over Australia.
Yeah.
What's that process been like for you? Again, going from tech phobia to just creating an entire online program.
It's been massive. It's almost like I can only relate it to, you know, at the very beginning when I started sending out my laundry, I got palpitations about sending out laundry, and now.
And talk us through why. Why was that? Why were you like, oh?
Because I'd never done that before, and I was used to being in charge of everything.
And as you grow, you can't. You literally cannot do. You can't control everything.
Yeah.
Shock horror.
Yeah. And my house had been full of towels and just laundry everywhere. And it's actually the sending out the laundry to me is as significant as the online program in terms of humongous change. Like massive letting someone else do this. Now the laundry lady, you know, is just so happy with me. She actually delivers and collects, which is a new service she never had before. So she's brought in a new service too, and hired a delivery guy.
Amazing.
Amazing. So the online stuff is actually as big as that. So in the beginning, I just had a ton of stuff in my head that I needed to organize in some way. And because I've done so many courses, I have a lot of knowledge of how they're structured and how they're delivered and things like that. And I took a couple of online courses and was like, oh, that's awesome. I like that. And I like that. And I like that. And I like that. Okay. So then I just basically took stuff I liked from people that I saw doing it well and copied that basically with my stuff. So it took about 3 months to really actually do it. It took about 6 months to think about it, a lot of thinking about to actually action it, which is why I've been in the program for so long, because I knew if I left, I just wouldn't do it.
It'd get just put back in the back of the mind over there, and I'll just keep doing all the stuff that's in front of me right here instead of planning strategically. Because to be perfectly honest, creating a team while treating and managing and marketing, etc., plus creating an online program, then having to get the marketing set up for it and do sales calls and then take people through the program, that's a big ask, as you know. Like it is literally almost 2 full-time jobs. Plus you've got 3 kids.
Oh
and your hubby is often working away.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, you know, and you're very involved with your children as well. You're a very like hands-on mum.
Yeah, like
you know.
I basically I had to scale back the amount of time I had in the clinic, which was only possible with my staff to maintain the income that I wanted to have.
Absolutely.
If I didn't have the staff, then I would have had to really get my socks pulled up and crack on with that e-program a lot quicker.
Yeah, definitely, to keep the
Yeah,
income
yeah.
consistent.
So I basically took 2 days off in a weekday. So I work school hours as well, mainly, so I can pick them up after school and do all the running around. So when I took the 2 days off, I had to actually schedule those days with these are the days I'm going to edit videos, write content, decide the order of play, and then organize, a model to come in on the weekend to massage, to do the actual filming. So I worked every weekend for 3 months. I don't work weekends normally. So that was quite big for my family to do that.
So in terms of kind of client numbers a couple of years ago when it was just you, do you remember where you were sitting roughly per week in terms of how many clients are coming through the door?
Yeah, I was seeing 20 people a week, but I was working 5 days a week.
Yep. Okay. And now how many clients would you have coming through the door? Because do you still take the 2 days a week off?
Yeah, I try.
So you're really working
They're
3 days a week.
Days.
So 3 days a week hands-on,
hands-on,
and 2 days a week on the business doing that other stuff.
Yeah.
And plus you've got 2 team members. How many clients are you seeing across the week now?
It does vary from week to week. We're looking round about the 35. On a good week, 40. On a poor week, we're around about 20.
Yep.
20 is great.
Yeah.
That's a bad week.
Yeah. Cool. So it's going between 20 and 40. So some weeks doubling where you were.
Yeah.
And you've got the income with the premium, with the online program as well.
Yes.
So we say anything that's a premium program is $1,000 or more. And Christine is sitting between the $1,000 to $2,000 mark for her program and making a few sales a month at the moment. Would that be about correct? Yeah. So because it takes time to do a sales call, it takes time to log people in, and then obviously you've got to coach them through it because you're teaching hands-on skills.
Yeah.
So maybe talk us a little bit through that. How do you make sure that people have the same skills that you do when they finish the program? What did you put into to ensure that?
To kind of make sure everyone has a similar base level, I only offer it to remedial massage therapists. So that's a really good starting point.
Yeah, great.
I do mentor people through it. So we have weekly meetings. I teach people exercises to hone their touch skills.
Right.
So there's a series of exercises that they do to just elevate that sophistication of touch so that they don't freak out when I put a rock in their hand and say, right, feel that trigger point.
Yeah.
And there's like ways you can kind of go, this is what a trigger point feels like through a stone.
And I mean, the idea with any kind of mentoring, whether it's getting hands-on mentoring or business mentoring or teaching someone how to do hot stones or any type of technique, it's a matter of looking at the results of the person that you're mentoring from and going, is that where I want to go? Do I want to use hot stones in this way? Yes. Then I have to do it the way Christine does. And not that we want to relate people to monkeys, but monkey see, monkey do. The more literal people are in their learning, and we see the same thing in the program, the more literal people are, we take this information, apply it, don't rationalize it and analyze it and will this work, or do I want to do this, or is this uncomfortable? It's like the more you just take the information, apply it, take the information, apply it, take the information, apply it. Once you've done that for long enough, then you can start to rationalize and change and try it. But that reliance of just do this. And it's a bit like a baby when they're learning to walk. They don't fall on their bum first time and go, oh, that's it, I can't walk. Oh, it doesn't work for me. My legs are I'm just chubby. It's like, no, the baby just gets up and goes, oh, well, you're walking, so I'm going to have another go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's the same with the parent. The parent doesn't freak out and go, they are never going to walk. That's it. It's the same with you guys on the program. Like, you're always going, come on, you can try again, you can do it, you can
Just come on, we've done it.
And it's the same, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you don't go, oh, well, you did that once.
Yeah.
You're off the program.
Yeah. Out you go.
No chance.
And it is about being able to be comfortable in that, because that's how we learn. We learn when we're making mistakes. And if we're being judged in that place, then learning doesn't happen. But if you're actually being encouraged to fail, it's okay, make the mistakes and learn from them, because that is how we learn through action.
Definitely wouldn't have had online booking. I wouldn't probably have survived taking on a member of staff, or they wouldn't have survived me. Like, I'd managed people before, but now I'm thinking about how I managed them and thought, oh, whoa, maybe not that great. So yeah, I think the people side of it, I definitely wouldn't have done my online program. Yeah, I wouldn't have made so many fantastic friends, massage buddies that I've got here.
Yeah.
In order to encourage myself to do things, I like to have my carrot in place.
Yep.
So my recent one for getting that program up and going was a trip to the UK. So I almost definitely wouldn't have concocted that in such a positive way.
Yeah. So talk us through that process, because we always have, if you're going to do something amazing, you've got to have a reward for it. So we've got to start, maintain and finish every task that we set out to do, particularly with goals. But the fourth step often we forget is reward. And so I said to you, what are you going to give yourself for getting your program done when it was a challenge, before we had that 3 months laid out?
Yeah.
And I said, and
in the 6-month desert.
Yeah. And what's going to be the stick that if you don't get it done, you can't have that? And you came up with your own amazing carrot and stick, because the carrot was, I get to have it, and the stick was, I don't get to have it, and that's not okay. So talk us through that process. What did you choose to do?
I decided to have a very indulgent study tour to the UK, go to this the British Fascial Symposium, which is a 3-day fascia conference with like all the European gurus and American gurus, and it's like, you know, it's like a who's celebrity fest of fashionistas.
Yeah, fashionistas. I
like it. So yeah, it's very nerdy, very lovey, but fantastic, great learning, everything else. So I thought, yeah, I'll do that. That's only 3 days. Something more. Oh, look, there's a 2-day nerve course just close by in the south of England. Let's go and do that one. And then I went, oh, and in London, just half an hour away, the next day, there's like this wet lab at Guy's Hospital in London.
Awesome.
So I'll go and do that as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll go and do all these things. And oh yeah, my family lives in Scotland, so I'll spend 5 days zooming around Scotland, saying hi to everyone, and then came back. So it turned out to be a 3-week door-to-door adventure on my own without my family, which is like massive for me as well. Because sometimes I carry them around like a security blanket.
Yeah. So 3 weeks on your own. And part of you is like, woohoo!
Yeah.
And another part of you was like, oh my gosh, what will actually happen?
I know.
And the sun still came up bursting full out of the sky. Amazing.
And my clinic survived without me.
Well,
and my online program was running at the same time, and that survived too. So
amazing. When you have the right mindset, because I know for you, mindset has been massive in learning how to manage people, learning how to trust people, because walking into a room where you don't trust therapists is a reflection of how you were, being at the time with other people around. So you can't, in an untrusting environment, you can't hire people, you can't work with them. It's a bit hard. So being able to work through those trust issues, which I know you have, and you've had a lot of courage in working through that, getting your marketing right. So learning how to market your clinic, using online things, as well as being able to market your online program, and then getting the mechanics in place so that you could literally take 3 weeks out. And yeah, there is going to be some stuff that's a bit wobbly, but you're a business owner with a hands-on business and you're not there for 3 weeks, and you actually accidentally left your laptop in Sydney
Airport.
So you couldn't even do any on the business.
I couldn't do any work.
All you had your phone. And that's amazing. The fact that it all still ran, those two massive components that you have been working on for the last, at that time, it was 18 months that you'd been investing time, effort, energy, and working on yourself, learning how to let go of control, let go of the need for control.
Yeah.
Even to see your face, joy and smiling more often is phenomenal. It's been amazing.
Yeah. And yeah, it's hilarious that the laptop is now like almost part of me. Whereas 18 months ago, it was like, yeah, there's that thing over there.
What do I do with that? And now it's like, oh yeah, cool. Me and my laptop are just going to rock out over here.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock to leave it at Sydney Airport. And, obviously it was meant to be. It was a big lesson there. And when I, on my return journey, I had it returned to me. It was
just amazing. Amazing. So you actually had 3 weeks where you actually had to be completely hands off. And the business survived really, really well, which is amazing. And that is a testament to finding out what the steps are, taking action on those, and working on the internal as well as the external. Because if all we did was sit around working on your mindset, it's great, but it's not going to make you take any more action. If all you did was take action, you become a human doing, and that's not going to be helpful either, because we all massage and treat people who are human doings and it doesn't work out well for them.
Yeah.
So we actually need to learn to work on the internal and the external, which is what I think you have displayed beautifully over the last couple of years. If anybody, if someone is listening to this and they're thinking about what would be some advice that you would give them if they were in a similar situation to where you were a couple of years ago, what would be the number one piece of advice you'd say to get them on their journey for being able to create the business growth that you've seen over the last couple of years?
Just taking the first step, and once you take the first step, be all in. Honestly, this thing doesn't work if you don't. You just have to, even when it's tough and you don't want to, just honestly, it's worth it at the end to, really suck it up sometimes. Yeah, it's tough. Get over it. Get on with it. Honestly, just... I know that's like tough love, but it sometimes we just have to. You just have to. It's almost like, commit and show up and do it, and because the rewards are great at the end. It really is. I mean, you can't expect like anything. You can't do a half okay job with a massage and expect someone to get off the table and be like, oh, you were amazing. Like with my massages, it's 110%. Each person, each massage. There's no massage that, I heard someone once say, this sort of massage therapist in our town was sneaky and would come and lie about their identity so they could check you out and see if you were any good.
Right.
And I heard someone else had experienced the same thing, and she said, well, it was okay because I didn't pull out my best massage moves. And I'm going, oh, you didn't? So I think, you just 100% go for it. And you're only kind of cheating yourself if you don't.
Yeah. And it's so true. Just being like, thinking of it as if you're going to do excellence in the treatment room, have excellence in your business.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you only have excellence in the treatment room because you've learnt the skills. So if you don't have the skills outside the treatment room, learn and get them and then commit and be all in. Because it's so many people do sit there kind of going, oh yeah, but I'll just wait for, because down the track, or maybe I'll wait till the kids are older, or I'll wait for this, or I'll wait for that, or because they're not being all in. And it's like, just commit, be all in and go, damn, I want to make this happen.
Exactly.
And do what it takes to actually
and I think if people say, it's expensive, I can't afford it, I would actually say to them, you can't afford not to. Can you afford not to? Therapist next door is going to do it.
May as well be you.
It might as well be you.
For a couple of massages a week, it may as well be you. Exactly.
I just kind of think, can you afford not to? Really? And
Yeah.
that's how I felt always about my education. It's
Yeah.
something that no one can ever take away from you.
Yeah.
It's yours. It's
Yeah.
yours forever. It's
Yeah.
like stuff you learn, you keep.
Yes. Yeah.
And
You're
it
never going to
only gets more valuable. It only gets more valuable.
exactly.
It's amazing. It's something that to me is highly prized. You know, I absolutely I love learning.
Yeah. Clearly.
And I've discovered that I love learning technology and business as well.
Who knew? Who knew? Which is amazing. And in your
It
experience
is.
with James and I, would you recommend people working with us?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The two of you bring different things to the table, but and it's not that one of you is missing something that the other one is not, but you complement each other very well. And you know, if you're more a detail person, James is amazing that way. And if you want inspired and motivation, I would say that you really come to the table with that stuff, definitely. You know, you really are able to motivate people. Damn it. Sometimes it doesn't feel too good when you don't want to.
Yeah.
But you know, after the fact, you're like, oh yeah, I'm glad I did that now.
Yeah. 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 That's good. That's good. That's really good. Now that's awesome. Look, Christine, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. I know you are a very busy woman. It has been amazing to hear your story and your journey, and to see your growth over the last 2 years has been phenomenal. And I think it's very different to maybe how we both thought it was going to be originally.
Yeah.
But it's so exciting, and I'm so glad, because this is exactly where you're meant to be, and of what you've been able to put in place has been phenomenal. So thank you very much for your time, and thanks heaps for sharing what you have, because I know people listening right now are going to be really encouraged and really inspired by what's possible, and maybe what they didn't even realize was possible in their business. Even if you were a tech phobe and kind of was like, oh, that wasn't my thing, to be able to go, right, this is how to put it all together, it's how to manage this, step out of my business, grow it, and really just do amazing things. So massive well done. And
thank you. Thank you very much.